Welcome, March! And we back. Come on, episode 2, baby. Today we're talking about bracket busters. Who's gonna mess up your bracket in March? We got a couple teams that we think are gonna completely go off the rails in the tournament, and no one saw it coming.
Yeah.
First off, this was a crazy week in college basketball. Last week we made the power rankings, and
some of them were good, some of them were bad. But
roll the clip.
All right, first team. Who do you think is gonna be that could like mess up your bracket in March?
So I don't know. I feel like this team hasn't been talked a lot about. They were ranked 9th in the country at one point.
Okay.
And now they're not ranked, and I feel like they're under the radar. They're in the Big Ten. They're gonna make that Big Ten tournament. They'll be like a 9 seed, 8 or 9 seed, maybe a 7. But they're not gonna be a super high seed. But I think like if they get their cards right, if they play their cards right, like they could make a deep run. Oregon is that team for me. They have 4 guys averaging over 10 points a game, dog. 4 guys averaging over 10 points a game. They beat Alabama, who's number 9 in the country. They've also beaten teams like Maryland, Texas A&M, and Wisconsin. They've had a couple bad losses. They've lost to Illinois by 22. That was a home game. And then they lose to UCLA by 26. Kind of stinky. Don't love that. Kind of poopy. But I think
You also have here that you have 4 guys averaging over 10 points, which you just said, and they're shooting 34.7 from 3.
Which isn't great, but that's how they played offense though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a little bit of them. They play a high pick and fade, and they have shooters that can knock down the 3. A little inefficient, but I mean, the way I've been looking at it, really, in college basketball, yeah, there's some teams that can shoot the 3. No one's, like, crazy at it, though. There's no team that, like, oh my gosh, they can shoot the 3, like, lights out. Like, yeah, there's some teams with good shooters, and, like, they have a higher percentage than that. But, like, I don't know. I feel like they shoot it at a pretty high volume, and, like, for that percentage, it's not great, but, like, they're going to play within that. And if they get hot, they can take down some teams.
For sure. All right, this next team. We're not gonna. They played great on Wednesday. Won in overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Very good game. But when was the game?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Saturday.
So Saturday night, this team
goes into South Carolina
and gets their butts handed to them.
They get their teeth kicked in. They lose to South Carolina by 19 after beating Texas in overtime by 5. Team's Arkansas. I mean, we watched that game Wednesday night. I thought that was their kind of like let's get back type game.
I mean, this is what Coach Calipari's first year in Arkansas, correct?
Yeah.
So he's still trying to build his team together. I don't blame him. I mean, he's having an up and down year.
Here's my thing. I feel like there was just a lot of pressure on them. Like they were to start out the year, they were number 16 in the country.
True.
And they haven't like they've just fallen. They haven't gotten any higher. All they have gotten, they've like rejoined the top 25 like once, but they like just kept falling. I think they jumped back in. They were 24 if I'm not mistaken at one point, but then they fell right back out. They've had a couple good wins. They beat Kentucky. They beat Mizzou. And then what's the last game I have on there that they won? Oh, they beat Michigan.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, Michigan, they're so interesting. Michigan's they're so, like, I don't know. they're so interesting because they go and on Wednesday night they play Nebraska, the Cornhuskers.
Still Cornhuskers.
They win, or was that Tuesday night? Wait, what night was that they played? I'm forgetting. Either way, they play Nebraska, win by 3, and then they go and play Rutgers at home, and they win on a buzzer beater. Like, that game should not be that close. You're at home playing Rutgers, they were at the time 7-10 in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing for me though, Michigan, like they're playing so well. Like, even though they're barely winning these games, like, wins are wins, and like that's gonna help your case come tournament time.
Yes.
So like you're gonna play teams that aren't as good. Like, you could be a 3 seed, and like, even though you haven't played great, being a 3 seed and playing like bad teams to start off could for sure help your case to make a run.
For sure. Is this who's this? Is this that?
This is yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
All right. Next team. This team has played close with everyone. Everyone.
Yeah. Except for there's one outlier.
But
in games. But
they've won against Tennessee. They've beaten Kentucky, beaten Ole Miss, and won against Texas A&M.
Ole Miss is so weird.
But from what it looks like, what you have here, they lost by 30. 30
to Oklahoma.
To Oklahoma.
You can't do that.
That's how can you win against Tennessee, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and then go to Oklahoma and get your butt slapped? Like, like,
dude.
Oh
yeah,
my goodness. You can't. That's
my goodness, Valentine.
It's not the shot for this moment.
No.
Oh my goodness, Valentine! No. Whoa, no!
Like.
Oh, okay. So here's my only defense.
And that team is Vanderbilt, by the way.
Here's my thing with them though. Like, that loss to Oklahoma by 30, I don't even put too much stock into it, because guess what? They have no pressure on them.
No, yeah.
Their highest rank this year was 24. They were ranked 24 for a little bit. They started out the season 13-1, dog. 13-1. That one loss was to Drake.
Bro. What was the score to that game?
The score to that game, I think they lost by 11.
Oof.
I mean, it loses to Drake, but Drake has won a ton this year. So like they'll be in the tournament. They might win a round too. Look at that. Drake. They've just played so well. They've won so many games. Like, they're gonna be in the tournament.
Yeah, but they're beating on teams.
They're beating up bad teams, but like, I don't know. Like, you're winning games, and you're beating Vanderbilt, who's beating these teams. I mean, using college sports logic isn't gonna get you far, but like, it could though.
Very true.
So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nah, using the college sports logic, it's like when Kennesaw State beat a random team in college football, and then that team beat a team, and then like it goes all the way to like a team beating Georgia. So then it's like Kennesaw State's better than Georgia. Dude,
oh man.
Like, oh my gosh, that's actually so funny, because then it's like, yeah, Kennesaw State beat them, who beat them, who beat them,
and then who ended up beating Georgia?
Who ended up beating Georgia? Kennesaw State better than Georgia.
Or they beat
Case
Alabama.
over.
Yeah.
Case is over.
But I mean, like, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they're just if they make the tournament, they get healthy, they have everybody.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I think they've been a giant killer all year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't deny. I was talking with one of my buddies about that, and he told me about Vanderbilt, and then I really looked into him, and I was like, sheesh. Like, dang. I didn't really know. Like, I thought, I don't know, some teams are like, oh, they'll beat a team, and then, like,
When you...
Like, you talk about a team like Ole Miss,
It's
right?
upside
It is upside down. Talk about a team like Ole Miss. It's like, oh my gosh, you beat Kentucky.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
Lucky. Oh my gosh.
But then you lose to Vanderbilt.
True. Very true.
Get out of here. So like, I don't know. They're so interesting. But
then you have a team like this this next team that we're going to talk about who just barely won against Arizona 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just barely won. But their only two biggest wins was when Kansas was in the top, or when Kansas is 23 and Arizona. But they've lost to Utah, they were home against Cincinnati and lost by 18, lost to Houston while on the road, and then lost to Providence.
Look at how much they lost to Houston by. Did I put it? They lost to Houston by 31.
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah.
like, I don't know. We've talked about BYU. BYU's interesting. They win games, and yeah, I think in the tournament, like, they could mess up some brackets. I think a first round upset or a second round upset is possible. Them going farther than that, I wouldn't put too much into that, just because they'd be in two Big 12 schools that are like, okay, like, all right, you're coming out party, but it's like, lose to Utah, it's kind of stinky. You lose to, what else do they lose to? I mean, you lose to Cincinnati by 18 while you're at home. Kind of stinky. I don't love that. And then you lose to Providence by 19.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Providence is a very great team. Providence is a team, even when they play UConn, is a very hard team to beat.
Homer! Yeah. Providence
But,
is alright.
I-
I mean, I'll give you that. Big East, like, this week, dog, that St. John's Butler game that we watched,
Oh, I wish St. John's would have blown that lead.
That was so funny. Rick Pitino was sweating.
He was sweating through his palms, dude.
Heard?
Like,
dude, yeah. I think that just shows, like, the Big East is so competitive.
oh yeah.
Like,
100%.
anybody can beat anybody.
So yeah, keep an eye out for Oregon, Arkansas, BYU, and Vanderbilt.
I think the weakest one, like, I know we brought up BYU just because they had a couple upset wins. I wouldn't count on them to get a first round. Like,
No.
if they got bounced, I wouldn't be shocked. But like,
But I feel like either between the four teams that we just talked about, I can see either Oregon or Arkansas making a run.
you don't think Vanderbilt could do it?
I say second round exit. I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Really?
That's just how
That's just how you see the cookie crumbling. That's okay.
That's it.
I understand. I feel like, I don't know, Arkansas, bro. Like,
Arkansas. I mean, get Coach Calipari. He's Coach Calipari.
go party.
He's
Johnny Wednesday.
He's trying to build that team back up because they did pretty good last year until they met UConn, and UConn just smoked them.
Arkansas?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, in
Calipari, his track record in March is interesting. He's coached a ton of teams.
Yep. I think because the last time for me, I don't know if it was more recent than this. Last time I saw Coach Calipari in the Final Four or even championship game was in 2014 against UConn, and they lost that game. Was he in the championship before then? Because I don't think he was. I don't think he was at all.
He's made several Final Fours. I mean, he's
Yes.
coached Memphis. He's
Yes.
coached UMass. He's coached
But I'm saying for like championship games with
championship
Kentucky
games with Kentucky
after the 2014
after
season.
2014.
I don't think he has. If anything, then he probably made it to the Elite Eight.
Oh yeah, you're right, because I think they may have made the Elite Eight and then lost to North Carolina.
I think
The
you're
year
right.
the year North Carolina went to the championship and lost to Villanova.
That was a great game. Great game.
Amazing. Kicks it out to Jenkins
To win!
to win the championship.
Jenkins gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, Jenkins didn't play in the NBA.
No, Big
The
bust.
biggest bum on that team. Literally everybody else on that Villanova team, bro, has a starting spot in the NBA except for him. Look at think about it. Dante DiVincenzo.
Yep.
On a team.
Yep.
Ryan Arcidiacono.
He was on rosters for a little bit. I mean, he didn't like play, but he was
Yeah.
on teams.
Mikal Bridges.
starter. Jalen Brunson, starter. Josh Hart,
Starter. Yeah.
Dog, they were. Oh man, so interesting. And then you got Ryan Arcidiacono. Love that dude.
Yeah.
Archie. Man.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's who the way I see the cookie crumbling. But like, dude, I just like some of those teams.
I mean, how do you feel about Vanderbilt? I mean, since you know my point of view on Vanderbilt, how do you feel about Vanderbilt? Do you see them going far in March? Do you see them getting past the second town or the second round?
Making a Sweet 16, like I think it's possible. I mean, here's my thing with these 4 teams. Like, these aren't teams that I'm saying are guaranteed locks for certain places. I'm just saying there's possibilities.
Yeah.
Where they could see themselves in those positions. I mean, like Arkansas, if they're a first 4 team and they beat VCU, which is bracketology right now, I think, is they would play VCU. This might be dated. But if they're first 4 team, they win that first game, and they're in as an 11 seed, playing a 6. Like, that's an upset that happens more times than not. Like, I shouldn't say that, but, like, that's an upset you can see happening. Yeah, that's how I feel about Arkansas. Vanderbilt, again, bringing them up, like, just won some of those games, and, like, there's no pressure on them. Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, how much pressure is there to win if you're Coach Calipari and you got brought in, you're, like, expected, like, success. I mean, there's a little pressure.
Yes.
For sure. I mean, whoever wins that Big Ten, like, they're gonna be have a lot of pressure on them. St. John's, Rick Pitino trying to do whatever he can to win a chip. Rick Pitino, I don't know if you knew this, the only coach to win a national championship with multiple schools.
Wow.
So, like, imagine if he got a 3rd team that he won a championship with. Like, that's just unheard of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Oregon.
Oregon, I don't think there's pressure on them.
No.
I think, yeah, these are teams that are just like, Arkansas is the team that, like, they have a little pressure on them though. So, like, I don't know.
There's reasons why, like, you wouldn't pick them, and I'd understand, because, like, yeah, Coach Cal trying to.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my feeling.
BYU, I see some kind of pressure.
Little.
Maybe not as much as Arkansas.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
all these teams, realistically, they're going to be playing with house money. Anytime you're a dog in a game, like, you're playing with house money.
Yeah.
And then anytime you win, it's like, can we ruin anyone else's chances? So, yeah. I mean, that's how I feel on those teams there. Yeah, I mean, I think the team that we haven't talked about, like, Alabama.
In Tennessee.
What a game.
Let's talk about that game for a second.
What an absolute game.
Great game.
Winning
Great
off a
game.
buzzer beater
At home, too.
at home. That's just immaculate. Like, the game was just close. Like,
The whole game.
The whole game. Alabama had the lead for a little bit. Tennessee had the lead for a little bit.
Alabama was up 5 at one point with 2 minutes
With
left.
2 minutes left, they were up 5. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were up 5.
And then they fouled, got the rebound, and then they got fouled again. And then 1-on-1, I think he missed a foul shot.
Dude.
I think he went like 1
The
for 2.
free throws.
The
The free throws.
I know, dude.
They'll mess you up.
I said it last episode. Free throws are very important come these last few games.
Did you
Yeah.
even say
I did say that. I say foul shots are key.
If you don't find the clip.
Oh, I will find it.
If you don't find the
Find
clip,
it right
then
here.
roll it.
Roll it right now.
Foul shots are always key too.
But
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just important. Yeah, like Alabama, they're so interesting. You lose to Mizzou. You beat Kentucky. You lose to Tennessee.
Yep.
You've also lost to Vanderbilt. You've lost to Auburn when you were number 2 in the country.
First off, looking at a live look right now, it's halftime in Michigan State. Michigan State is down 2 at the half.
Down
Wisconsin is up 34 to 32.
34-32.
Yep,
Wisconsin.
Michigan.
Who did they lose to last week? I feel like I think I put it on here. Wisconsin. They lost to Oregon last week. That's who they lost to.
I'm just saying, man. Oregon. Big Ten, baby.
Yep, I'm telling you.
Big
Oregon,
Ten,
Oregon is
Big Ten, though. We all know who that belongs to.
We already know.
Whoa, whoa! Go blue, baby.
get out of here.
Let's not give it.
Get out of
Don't you dare say Spartans, bro.
here. I'm not, bro. Don't worry.
Who do you got Big Ten then? Tell me.
Just don't be repping Michigan, bro.
What you talking about?
You heard me.
Michigan? I'll rep Michigan all I want. Rep Michigan all I want.
I don't know.
All right, whatever, man. I'm just saying.
Those Ducks.
Those Ducks, baby.
Quack, quack, baby.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
I love how we did this last week, and then we said Florida was going to be our number one. Like, your number one, and then
Gators!
and then they lose
Gators!
to Georgia.
Roll it again. Roll it
Right,
again.
yeah,
Bro.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean,
All right.
I just want to show you guys
All
this.
right.
Like this could be like chucked on a curb. This could get stuck. If anyone wants this, like anyone, comment below if you'd like this. I would like before I burn it. Like if anyone wants it, like
He
oh,
will
yeah.
hand deliver it to you.
I will hand deliver. Yep. But yeah, I would trade this for like a Clorox wipe, bro. Like this thing is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel. All right, heard. That's
It's
it
so
for Bracket Busters. Coming up next, we're gonna talk about a little bit of pro hoops.
Pro hoops.
Maybe Four Nations a little bit. Talk about that. I mean, that's like 3 weeks old, but I think we can still talk about it. So yeah, so that's it for college hoops and Bracket Busters. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and yeah, we will see you next week. Welcome to March. March Madness, baby.
March.
Can't wait. Selection Sunday in 2 weeks, bro.
I think personally, maybe we should do a live stream.
That'd be so fun.
We could do a live stream. Maybe.
It's at night.
I know. True. Anyways,
We'll figure
stay
that out.
tuned for Selection Sunday and next Sunday to hear our takes from this past week's games. And Selection Sunday will be here before we know it. We will fill out our brackets, tell you guys who we got, and
yeah,
we're gonna go from there.
can't wait.
All right. See you in the next one.